Hey folks, BirdDog John here. I want to do a video on how to update your device. I find it easier if you just follow along on video. I'm going to do this in real time so that you can actually see how long the whole process takes. Shouldn't take too long. Now, today we're gonna use a BirdDog Studio, and mine is already plugged in, ready to go. I got PoE power connected to it, and there's two ways that you can get to the web interface of a BirdDog device. The first way is if you know the IP address, and on a Studio it actually tells you. But on some of our devices, it'll say it on the LCD screen or whatever. So if you know the IP address, you can just go to Google Chrome, punch in the IP address into the web browser, and then hit enter, and it should take you to the WebUI. You need to be on the same subnet to do that. Actually, in all these cases, you need to be on the same subnet. But for today's purposes, you could use the IP address. The other way to do it is if you don't know what the IP address is, maybe you're on a corporate network or something like that, and you missed the boot up and you just want to get into it quickly, you can actually use the last 5 of the MAC address that's on the sticker of the device. Now, the only exception to this is the keyboard. I don't believe the sticker is on the device, but all the other products should have a sticker that says what the MAC address or serial number is of the unit. And you can just use that to get into the BirdDog device. And so here I'm going to share my desktop screen with you and kind of show you this in real time. So the last 5 on my MAC address is 7E as in Edward 0CB. So 7E0CB. So I'm going to go up to the browser here and just type in BirdDog-7 should really remember these, E0CB, and then I'm going to type .local. Now you can see I've actually already done this for this. This is an older device, so I've done this already on this machine. But this is the address that you want to use to find it. And for most computers, if you hit enter, it may give you a can't find this website. So you need to put http:// and then BirdDog-, and that will make it a local non-secure site. It'll know where to look. And then when you hit enter, it will dump you to the WebUI. Now, the other way to do it is with the IP address. Just want to show you that 192.168.1.21. And there it is. So this is a good, these are the 2 ways that you can get to the IP address. Now, if you want to know what the IP address is, check out my video on how to use ndianalysis.exe. It's on the knowledge database. It's super helpful, and it's an easy way to scan your network to find out what the IP addresses are of each of your devices. I should also mention that to do this, the BirdDog-, this is set by default when you first power up the device, but you can actually change it inside the WebUI. Whoops. Inside the WebUI. So here we are, and see how the serial number is 7E0CB. Well, if we go to network, and at the bottom, you can actually see that local address here. So instead of 7E0CB, I'm going to type in Knutson. How long can I make this? Knutson Studio, and hit apply. Now it changes it here, but now the address is http://BirdDog-KnutsonStudio.local. Boom. There's the WebUI. And that is now where I go to get into this device. Again, the IP address will also work. Okay, so I'm going to put in my password now. Log into the device. And for many of you, you already know how to get into your device. Okay, now let's update the firmware. So there's the latest firmware on the website. I haven't even done this yet. So bird-dog.tv. And if you really want it, /features/firmware-updates. So we'll click on that one, and this will take me right to that site. But you can also go to bird-dog.tv, go across to support, and then firmware updates, and that will do it for you. Okay, let's scroll down. Now, this Studio is one of 2 different flavors. This one is a Rev 3 or 3.1. That's just an older manufacturing run. Most current ones are Rev 4, but there's no difference as to how they behave or what they do. But there is a difference in firmware in terms of downloading it. So we provide both on the website, and the current update is 3.6.4. So I'm going to find NDI. This is Rev 3 364. This one over here is Rev 4, and that's most current. Like I said, this is an older Studio. Yours will probably be Rev 4, but double check because the firmware matters. So here I'm going to click on that button, It's going to start downloading. Your browser might say, are you sure you want to download this file? And yada, 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 depending on your security settings. I'm going to wait a couple seconds. I got a good internet connection, so this doesn't take too long. And now the zip file shows up here in my downloads. So I'm going to open that. I'm going to click on extract all and get this little compression tool or extraction tool. I just hit next. Okay. And now it's done. I can close this, and I can even close this if I wanted to. Okay, back to the web UI. Boom. And over here on the system tab, okay, system, we're going to drop down the system update. Now, there are two update configurations. This configuration update is for a subnet table, like if you're customizing things to look at different subnets and stuff. That'll be a different video. This video is about updating the actual firmware on the device, and we use the system update tab on the system tab here on the web UI. So we choose the file. We can scroll over to our downloads folder and we select our firmware, and the firmware file that you're going to look for is the .fw file. Boom. Open. It drops it here and we hit update. Now we wait a second. It's going to show us like a little Linux screen in just a second. Uploading file. Oops. There it is. And here is that little Linux refresh screen. It's going to actually tell you what it's up to. It's currently stopping the BirdDog services. So there's all sorts of processes that are going on here in this unit. So it's stopping all those so that I can rewrite the base firmware over the unit. So now we're installing the required packages. We're copying new BirdDog data. It will say this might take a few minutes, so please stand by. The beautiful thing about this is that if you have multiples, you can just open multiple tabs and just do the same process on each. System tab, update file, update. Go to the next one. System update file, update, and just go down the line. That way you don't have to, it's the same process for everything, and you're able to do it fairly quickly. So here we go. We are all done on this, and now it says we're going to reboot. So my unit is actually rebooting. Startup screen is back on, and it's got brighter. Now I get an IP address 192.168.1.21, which means that it is broadcasting again now to my network. Let's see if I can refresh. Okay, so I just hit refresh. I just highlight the address and hit enter, and now I type in my super secret password, and I log back in and I check, and now we're running the latest version of the BirdDog firmware, Rev 3. Okay. It's that easy. Now you're up and running. Do yourself a favor, plug in a source, make sure that it generates or it decodes or however you have them set up. By default, when you do a firmware update, it doesn't save all your previous settings on the AV list for Studio. And so you're going to want to go through and make sure that you have it in the right operation mode, that you have the audio selected correctly. I leave mine on auto, but you do whatever you want to do there. And I would scroll down and just check. One of the new features as of recent is the NDI encode, NDI managed bandwidth. It's advised just to leave that. That's like auto, if you will, to leave that, and that will basically sit around 120, 125 megabits per second to do the encode. That's it. That's everything that you need to do. Double check your settings once you do the update. Plug in a computer, or plug in a camera, make sure that you're getting an NDI feed, and otherwise you're all set. So I hope this has been helpful, and we will continue to crank out these little tutorials, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Thanks.